Mission begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4.
Hello everyone, welcome to a commentary of a demo review of the Balancemod, which I played the last time we had a session. It's been a hot minute since I played Balancemod. Been a lot of stuff happening. I've also been sick, got food poisoning last Friday, and I'm still sort of gassily recovering, to say it like that. So, in this video, I'll be using a combination that you don't necessarily see from a soldier. So I'm going to be using this loadout, which is garbage in official TF2, but in the Balancemod, we have given some buffs to these weapons here. So we're using the Liberty Launcher. This is the official one, and this is the new one. The only difference is that it does 5% more damage. It's not the biggest thing, but it changes the threshold where 5 rockets is no longer less than 4 rockets. It's actually more if you manage to land all 4 rockets. More on that later. The Mantreads pretty much works the same, except that you can move 10% faster at all times, which means you can give more damage and take less damage by just moving. And the Stomps deal more damage. And then the Shovel, which just deploys faster, but it allows us to take less damage from rocket jumps, and these sort of stack in, like, not 100%, but they're like additive or whatever. So this is just a game we played with the fantastic people in the Balancemod community. And this was just a pretty good game. It was really fun. And this loadout is actually viable, much like all of the other stuff in the Balancemod is viable. Like, you can pretty much run any kind of combination. It's pretty hard to gimp yourself. So we're just going to start off by the Uber right off the bat. Into nothing. But one thing this loadout is pretty good at is killing retreating players because of the faster rocket speed and stuff like that. So it wasn't the best Uber, but you know, it's a pub, and you just attack whenever you go out of spawn and you use that. And we just some banter going on in chat, telling people that you use Z if you're a TFC player to call medic. If you use E, you're a young little whippersnapper. But yeah, like the Liberty Launcher in the Balancemod right now is really good at catching players who are retreating. It's not as good as an offensive option, but you can really use it to pick off players, because you will do less damage, but you will do more than normal, and the rockets are faster, and combined with the Mantreads, you will even do more damage as long as you keep moving forward. So the downside of the Mantreads, of course, is that you're sort of grounded where you are, right? So whenever you are attacking, and you decide, oh, I don't want to be here anymore, you can't really surf damage as easily as you could before with the Mantras. I think that's what's putting off a lot of players with this, is that, like, you go for an overextension, there's a lot of heavies there, and you try to surf, and you just kind of stay where you are, and you just die. But with the faster move speed, you can mitigate some of that. You're still staying very much just where you are. And I think, like, the first half of this game is pretty much just a roll of us just using the strategy of just attacking at any point in time and then it working. There's not a whole lot, because like sometimes it takes a team to figure out like what's wrong and what's not working, and I'm just throwing out a bunch of rockets everywhere. Our medics on crits. It doesn't really matter because you can see that there's nothing here. And then I just decide to walk up to the soldier because I walk faster than the soldier that doesn't have the mantra, so just get some damage. So just a bit of patience there. Works okay. So the fun thing about this loadout is that you can, like, you have faster rockets, and you basically have faster first melee swing that does more, or faster damage, not more. And the fact that you can rocket jump more also means that in certain situations where you would have died from a rocket jump, even from the Liberty Launcher, you can now survive easierly, and that pairs really well with the additional move speed. So, red team recognizes that, oh, we're getting the poop push back into our butts. What? whatever should we do? And the answer is just like, look at what your team is doing, look at what the enemy's team is doing, and then just adapt. Because we were 4 players down at one point, and we still pushed, right? So that means like 4 of our players could be not in the fight, and we would still be winning, and there's an equal amount of players on both teams, I think. No, there's more on blue than there is on red. So yeah, good at catching retreating players. Of course, the standard thing that the casual teaches players is that if you are losing, it's fine to just leave the game. Imagine that if that happened in any kind of like sport, like the losing team just like one of the players just walks off the field. No, because it's not fun to lose. My team sucks. Are you gonna work with your team? No, not gonna work with my team. I'm just gonna not do anything. So the first round kind of like a bus, I think, maybe if I remember correctly. I don't remember if they stabilize here or not. We can see like this loadout is working quite well. Managed to get a pick off the medic there. And then we're just kind of staying alive here with very little health. If anything comes and coughs on us, we die. But basically like the idea is that you can use this to go in and apply pressure and get in their faces. There's not much they can do about this. Like especially like if you have an Uber and they're running like a pyro. Like pyro sentry sniper is a pretty standard and pretty strong defense. And definitely like just being in their faces with the Liberty Launcher, because you have more rockets, you can like knock them up in the air more. You don't kill as much, but you do have that additional rocket to do stuff with. Also gives you some more momentum, and you definitely don't want to box with a pyro when you're outside of boxing range and they have a flamethrower, because then you just die. So one of the weaknesses to this loadout of Mantread's Liberty Launcher and Shovel is that you have, if the pyros are good at reflecting, they're gonna shut you down pretty hard, because you don't have any shotgun, you don't have any like super mid-range pressure you can do with them, and if they're patient, they can pretty much counter you. So that's like one of the things. Like they can't counter you with air blasting you away, but they can counter you with the reflecting rockets. So here, a bit of an overextension for me, and I actually managed to get the kill on the demo there before he can wreak any more havoc. So that's about as good of a trade as you can expect when you run into like 4 of them and they have crits. So, and then we see that the teleporters are upgraded, and of course in the balance mod it only takes 200 metal to upgrade something to fully level 3 when it's a teleporter. So you don't have to use the Reek effect shenanigans to get the buff. Here, every wrench is equal. And if you want to do maximize upgrading, you do want to wait a little bit. So, switch back. That guy goes first in the teleporter for whatever reason. And they got destroyed. Cool, thanks. Alright, really glad I didn't get to take the teleporter. And then the guy who took the teleporter is dead, so I guess the teleporter got camped or something. So of course you do spend more time reloading, but because we are faster on the ground, we can reposition more easily. Trying to go with the team, because this is more of a support role. It's not, you won't be able to kick as much ass with the normal rocket launcher, because you will shoot the 2 rockets that you're used to killing someone with, and then they're not dead. Most of the time. Pyro's also scary. Try to get this health pack here. And then we're sort of trapped. Big Wish Omega dead. And here I tried to go for like a cheeky little shovel, because it deploys 40% faster, and we are faster on the ground, which means we can pull a fast one on our opponents sometimes with this, because they don't expect the soldier to be moving that fast, and they don't expect the melee swing. So if you know how to time your damage, you can use this loadout a lot, like I do. You should be able to like count the rockets, like 1 rocket, 2 rockets. And if you're low on health, you know, you can just run up and melee them, because, you know, melee hits don't hurt yourself. And sometimes you don't need more than 65 damage to finish one. How much health did he have? I didn't see. But it was probably enough to kill with a melee swing. So here you can see that the roll sort of ended, and the red team has stabilized fine here, because they realize that, oh, we actually have to work together as a team and actually, you know, think we're not just running around pushing buttons. Might try to get the sentry, won't really get it. Getting a bit denied here by the engineer with the short circuit, also kind of a big issue for us here. And we also don't have like a forward dispenser or a teleporter, but I think our engineer friend is going to set up right behind there. So going on the flank here, and Pyros, of course, with the back burner, you can kind of try and bait out them, because they waste a lot of ammo when they air blast. And if they're not getting good value, then it's not working too well for them. But right now our team is kind of lacking any kind of mid-range pressure because I'm not running shotgun, I'm running Liberty Launcher, so I can kind of have mid-range pressure because of the faster rockets. We only have like a heavy, and the other soldiers running battalion's backup. And it can be a bit tricky sometimes. So then we just run in here and get absolutely owned. Can't really get too much here. So probably I would have switched off the loadout, but I just like using this. It's fun, it's different, it's viable, it's good if used right. And you can kind of stay outside the zone of where you would normally do damage as a soldier, because the rockets are faster. They do less damage, but you will be able to do reliable damage, and because you get faster, you can kind of just dance around the damage and kind of slowly wear them down. Sort of like, you know, the family business for the heavy. It's like, yeah, it does less damage, but you shoot more, you have a lot more clip, you can kind of stay in the fight longer, and since you can stay in the fight longer, you can stay a bit further back. But, you know, up close, it still kills most squishes in 2 hits, which is good. It's just that, you know, the 5% difference that we made actually made it so that a lot of the times in the official game, if you ever use the Liberty Launcher, you'll notice that a lot of times, especially in soldier duels, you die and then the enemy soldier has like 3 health left. And you did everything right. You hit the rockets at the right angle. So here, this is actually pretty good. Like, this Uber is pretty much unstoppable at this point. Because we can just run in. Look how much, like, I don't even care about the pushback. I just run in, and then I kind of messed up there, but you can see the potential here with the man treads, especially against very heavily fortified positions. If they have, like, a lot of sentries and a lot of pyros, just Uber man tread soldier, and it's literally like a quick fix with Uber. You just walk in there and you can do whatever. However, you know, air blasts will push you back, but not as much, and you kind of just stay where you are as long as you're moving forward, and the pushback from the sentry isn't really that high. So it works okay. So here because I'm faster than the soldier, I can actually outrun him. And then because I take less damage, I actually survive this, and because I have like very good air strafe speed, I try to stay up here, but I have like 6 health, so I think, yeah, I green blind. This thing fucking shoots me. I would not have survived that for that long if I didn't have the man treads, for sure. Because it takes some getting used to that additional airspeed. I haven't been able to get any stops, but that is because my opponents pay attention and they're not bad. Like, the reason Trollger works is that people are bad and they don't look up, and if they have a heavy, the Trollger is shut down forever and he can't do anything. So there we go, just trying to attack here, and but there we get a nice juggle, but I was out of rockets and the medic lives. If I had managed my rockets a little bit better, I would have gotten the kill there. So far we can say our teleporter game has been pretty subpar. It's not been, like, the engineers have not been able to sustain their teleporters. I'm not sure why, maybe good spy harassment or something. So here we just kind of have to give them the space, and there's a crits, and I'm trying to bait like a crits, and because I'm faster I can dance around the rockets more and I can eat more damage. And kind of just stay alive here, because I know that when I'm taking crit damage I can survive the 1 crit rocket. And at that range, it's going to be pretty hard for the soldier to land a couple of hits on me. So we're going to try and get on the cart here. They have crits again. We're just going to walk in here, get the medic. Pub push incoming, but I don't think it's going to be enough here, because, you know, that we've been trying this for a while. And the red team had a really strong defense. So the man tread's pushing potential doesn't really help when you're on defense, right? So that's why kind of because the whole philosophy of Balancemod is like, well, weapons should be good on both attack and defense. It shouldn't be like, oh, this is just an offensive only tool, which is why we have the changes that we have. Like if we look at the pain train, which has no purpose on defense, you can see that we've added a small momentum boost, so you can kind of like hurt yourself, sort of like a Boston Basher with this on defense, so you get some mobility out of it, right? Because it makes no sense that, oh yeah, this weapon gives capture rate bonus. It's like, oh yeah, well, we're playing capture the flag, or we're defending the payload. It's not like I can make the payload go back faster if I have the pain train and I'm hitting the payload, right? So that's sort of like the philosophy with the Balancemod, that everything should be usable pretty much in any state of the game. Not any scenario, mind you, like that's different. But I just mean like on attack and defense in general. And it should do something, unlike the paint train in the official game, which does nothing if you're on defense other than make you weaker. And we sometimes see Highlander demos running the paint train on defense. So that's how you know they're confident. So yeah, crits Pyro, very scary. Just gonna use my speed to just kind of stay back here, and of course the medic took another route around. Trying to land some route. Like it's gonna be pretty hard to solo kill a heavy here because we're mostly just dealing like additional damage. We're not dealing the main damage, and we kind of have to like stay a bit like in around the mid range, like a bit further behind than you would with the shotgun. And especially like if we have anyone in front of us, it's a lot easier. But you can see like we're not getting a lot of kills, and we're not getting kills, then we're not getting ammo, and then eventually I've spent like a lot of rockets and I haven't really done too much. There's also no dispenser. But luckily there's an ammo pack here, and we're still defending. And then we're dead. Blue team is slowly pushing in here. So right now this isn't like the ideal situation to use this, because there's not really, I can't really utilize the rocket jump buffs that I have to the damage. So because I'm not rocket jumping that much. So it's like this weapon is this combination is definitely more like an attack oriented thing, but you can definitely zone on the defensive side as well. So here it's like, well, what do I kill? What do I get? Well, I guess I'll just go for this medic. That's really the only thing I got, and that's really it. Because I can't kill the heavy. The Pyro's just gonna air blast me away. And then he's like, oh no, we killed the medic with 20% Uber. It's like, yeah, well, it's better than letting him live, right? Because that means you'll have Uber 20% later, which is good for us. So this is kind of like a decent range, but Pyro good at air blast, so I cry. Some nice rockets here, just staying on the high ground. Here I should actually have switched out the shovel and just whacked them. But, you know, I haven't used this loadout in a while, and the timings are very peculiar with how the faster deploy speed. You gotta remember it, because I only have 2 weapons. And then I'm like, I think I thought about it there too, where it's like, oh man, I should have just whacked it out and hit them and used my speed. Because the way that it works, right, is that the faster or the closer I am to an enemy, the more damage I do. So here, I don't think I would have been able to, where'd he go? There he is. Don't think I would be able to get that sort of kill setup if I wasn't 10% faster. Because there's sometimes, and especially with the no pushback, you can just get in there and kind of stay in their face, and they kind of sort of have to deal with you until you run out of rockets. And the rockets also deal less damage, which means they're gonna get pushed back less. You can see I'm not losing much damage when I'm rocket jumping, that sort of stuff. But to what I was saying, right? So with the official Liberty Launcher, the damage you're doing with the 25% with how damage scaling in percentages work is that most of the time, if I hit all 4 rockets, no, all 5 rockets with the Liberty Launcher, I would have done less damage than I would if I hit 4 rockets with a regular rocket launcher. And you think like, well, that's weird. Isn't it like 25% less damage, but you have 1 more rocket, right? So it's like 25%, 50, 75, 100, and then 1 more, and you will have 100, 125 the damage you would have done, right? So you would have done like the same, right? Because you start at minus 25 and then you add up. It's like, no, it's not exactly how it works because of percentages and players and that sort of stuff. But with this 5% increase, we kind of fixed that that threshold. Because I do remember, I don't remember exactly the details, but I do remember spending a lot of time doing the math, doing the testing, so I'm fairly confident that's correct. There was also a time where we had 50% less damage, and that thing was just super duper strong. We just eat scouts for breakfast, faster rockets. There I remember, and someone else gets killed, but that's fine. So here they come in. I'm gonna try and push heavy on a payload. Is hard to stop with this because we do damage so slowly. But yeah, pick chip damage off like mid-range, retreating scouts, medics. It's excellent. And I don't necessarily would have needed to run the shovel because I don't rocket jump that much, but like you could probably use half Satuichi or maybe the equalizer just for more damage because you're faster. and also you could use the escape plan to get like an additional speed boost while you're retreating. But this was just to showcase that you can run like really bad combinations in the official game, and they're pretty good here at what they do. So I'm sacrificing some damage for easier damage done and some more mobility, and being able to just walk where I want regardless of pushback and stuff. So here, like with Hexagon there, I just danced around his stickies. I knew he was sticking behind me, so I just walked forward. And here we have an angry heavy. He almost gets a kill. And then here comes a big push, so we can retreat here. So, because we are closer to our enemy when we move forward, you can actually churn out more damage with all rocket launcher, not just the Liberty launcher. It's probably more impactful if you use the regular rocket launcher, because the rockets are slower and you'll be able to move faster forward, thus increasing your damage, because the damage of Soldier is, as you know, based off the distance between you and your target when the rocket explodes. So it works really well with all rocket launchers. The slower the rocket launcher, or the slower the rocket, the bigger the impact. But because you have no shotgun, you will suffer really much in the mid-range area. But with the faster rockets, you can, get picks like this and stuff like that. Also, one of the good aspects for this on defense is that if you have this sort of pushback resistance, you sort of just stay on the cart, even if they have pyros trying to push you off. Kind of become like a rock. It's like, well, you stay where you are and stuff like that. And this heavy, oh my god, he's just, oh Jesus Christ. And there we go, Gamer Potato. Cloada with the clutch killing gloves of boxing, taking the win. That was some good killing gloves of boxing from the Balancemod. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've been a bit busy lately with making videos, but we're not done on the Balancemod and Man Machines. We're still working on those. So be sure to check those out. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in a future video. Bye-bye.